Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome at the English news program here at Ora News. And now, tonight's news. The President of the Republic of Albania, Bujar Nishani, fully supports the new administrative and territorial reform, since, according to the head of state, this is a very important matter, but he also added that its implementation must be done in full accordance with national interests, with the interests of citizens, as must be a process based on the constitution and laws of the country. This fact was mentioned today from President Nishani during the meeting he held with the newly elected local officials of municipalities and communes. The head of state considered the administrative and territorial reform to be a major national issue, which has a direct impact on citizens all over Albania. Nishani said that this reform influences the interests and the concerns of the citizens, the economic development, and is also related to national security. President Bujar Nishani emphasized that this reform imposes liability to all decision-making stakeholders. The implementation of this very important reform, which requires expertise and professionalism, imposes historic responsibility to all those who have the right to take decisions, stated the head of the Albanian Republic. Nishani added that this meeting between him and the local leaders of the structures of the Democratic Party was very important, since they were interested to discuss about the territorial reform. The president also said that it is very important to have a meeting to consult about several concerns. Nishani assured to the newly elected local leaders that he will always support the public interest and concerns of citizens. The President of the Republic, Bujar Nishani, concluded saying that it is necessary for everyone to work and create a consolidated image of Albania. The representative of the Association of Municipalities, Agron Hajimali, reacted today immediately after the meeting with the President of the Republic, Bujar Nishani, and expressed his concerns about the new territorial reform. We expressed to the President our concerns regarding the new territorial reform. We require 28 new local units to be added, since this would make the reform more comprehensive. We will expect the President's decree, and then we will follow all legal means in order for our requests to be fulfilled, stated the representatives of the Association of Municipalities, Agron Hajimali. The new territorial map of Albania was approved from the majority on the last session on July 3rd, without the participation of the opposition, and despite some concerns from several deputies of the Socialist Party. So far, the President of the Republic, Bujar Nishani, has returned for the Parliament to reconsider 3 very important laws that were voted on the last parliamentary session. The prosecution must wait 24 more hours in order to take the first testimony of the former director of the Treasury Department in the Central Bank of Albania, Ardian Çollaku, who is suspected to be involved on the theft of 713 million lek. So far, the former director of the Treasury Department has refused to talk about this matter. The interrogatory session was supposed to be made today, but the change of Çollaku's defendant lawyer forced the judges to postpone the session, which will take place tomorrow. Meanwhile, the prosecution has sent 3 letters to Italy, Greece, and Austria, which are suspected to be the countries where Dorian Çollaku and Ardian Bitraj have traveled the most. The prosecution now aims to find the destination of the stolen money, since there are suspicions that some of the money were taken abroad. The investigation team has already taken information from second-level banks regarding the accounts of family members of the suspect arrested so far. The investigation team has found no irregularities or suspicious transactions made from these people. The investigation team has now strong suspicions that Ardian Bitraj had an accomplice, and furthermore, according to them, it is impossible to lose 713 million lek in gambling. Experts stated that if such amounts were played in gambling, then they would be registered in the system. The prosecution thinks that Çollaku's testimony will be of a great importance in the further investigations of this issue, since he was the person in charge of the treasury at the central bank during the period of the grand theft. the Central Bank of Albania has decided to replace the whole security and monitoring system in the highest financial institution in our country. The decision of the Central Bank was published today after the scandal of the grand theft of $7.1 million in the so-called Department X. The Central Bank announced today the opening of the national tender, which will be called the upgrade of the computer network and executive services in the Bank of Albania. In order to update the security system, the Central Bank of Albania has set a limit of 35.8 million lek. The Central Bank announced that it will accept offers until September 11. The bank did not explain if this project was made before or after the grand theft of 713 million lek. The experts said that the poor security system and camera surveillance in the building was the main reason that led to this theft in the institution, which is expected to be the safest one in the country. Prosecutors who are investigating the biggest theft in the Albanian history have only the footage of security cameras for the last 40 days of May and June, while the investigation team has still not required the footage of the period starting from 2011 to 2014. It is expected that this footage would give some answers to the investigative team, which would bring this case one step closer to being solved. The bank's security system retains the footage only for the last 40 days, and after that period, they are automatically destroyed. The Minister of Youth and Social Welfare, Erion Veliaj, reacted today about the sexual scandal in Saranda, where the Secretary of the Socialist Deputy, Koça Kokdhima, demanded sexual favors from a woman and her minor daughter in exchange for a job. Minister Veliaj said that the institution he heads is set in motion to take care of the children of Elvira Gega, the woman who filed charges against Secretary Agron Cane. This is a shameful act. We send these perverts to prison, while the Democratic Party keeps them in the government. We are taking care of the children of a woman who filed charges against Tan. On its part, the municipality has offered economic assistance to Elvira Gega, stated Minister Veliaj. Furthermore, the Minister of Youth and Social Welfare, Erion Veliaj, invited all citizens to address only to employment offices if they are in search for a job. People should go only to employment offices. The government reacted quickly to this case, and the person accused is already behind bars, concluded Veliaj. The deputy of the Democratic Party, Majlinda Bregu, urged the High Council of Justice to take immediately and start inspections on court decisions in cases of gender-based violence and violence against children and sexual harassment. This initiative was undertaken after the sexual scandal in the headquarters of the Socialist Party in Saranda, where the Employment Secretary, Agron Cane, asked for sexual favors to a woman and her minor daughter in exchange for a job. The case of Saranda is not only an individual problem, but it shows the massive abuse of excessive power and pattern of oligarchy. It is an evidence of society in which often the weakest is the one who suffers in silence and endures humiliation and violence. Violence changes those it affects, and the society is harmed more than an individual when it is accepted as behavior pattern anywhere. We should react in order to prevent it from happening again, stated the deputy of the Democratic Party, Majlinda Bregu. The High Council of Justice and the Interior Ministry must now respond to this request within the next 15 days. The Democratic Party has once again accused Prime Minister Edi Rama for being silent in spite of the fact that, according to them, crime has entered the parliament. During the last days, the Democratic Party has presented proof that some deputies of the majority were previously charged and arrested for severe crimes. In today's statement, the Democratic Party says that 41 days ago, Prime Minister Edi Rama ordered an attack against the opposition, which is not common in the history of the parliament in these 23 years of democracy. According to the biggest party in the opposition, the Prime Minister was the one responsible for the assault made against a member of the opposition. The violence against the opposition in the parliament came after accusations made from members of the Democratic Party, which stated that Prime Minister Edi Rama has incriminated public institutions and the parliament. It was publicly confirmed that Edi Rama has given immunity to Deputy Arben Doka, who was earlier convicted of prostitution trafficking. Due to this serious offense, the Court of Rome convicted this man with 7 years in prison. The statement of the Democratic Party said that despite these proofs, the Prime Minister continues to be silent. According to the Democratic Party, the Prime Minister is trying to reduce this scandal by not talking about it so that the citizens will forget. According to the biggest party in the opposition, the incrimination of the parliament is now a fact, and the opposition will continue every day to make transparency on the criminal alliance of Prime Minister Edi Rama. The agreement of the Albanian government with the Czech company, ČEZ, was once again in the center of accusations made today from the opposition. According to the deputy of the Democratic Party, Aldo Bumci, there are some political orders regarding the electricity system. During a press conference from the headquarters of the Democratic Party, Bumci warned that Albanians should be prepared for a difficult winter after the directives given from the government to fine as many citizens as possible. Employees of ČEZ have received orders from members of politics not to build less than 200 kilowatts per hour in villages, even though rural residents usually spend quite less. Other surprises are coming for small businesses. Regardless of the type of businesses, they will not pay less than 500 kilowatts per hour, in spite of the amount they have used, said the deputy of the Democratic Party, Aldo Bumci. Furthermore, Bumci expressed his concerns, since according to him, now the company will not pay attention to the complaints of the citizens. For all the citizens who want to complain, you must be prepared not to be heard by anyone in the energy company, because they have taken orders not to give any kind of response to you. The most unacceptable thing is that if the energy meter is damaged, even without your knowledge, you will be charged much more than you have actually spent, concluded the deputy of the Democratic Party, Aldo Bumci. The leader of the Agency of Legalizations, Artan Lame, accused today the municipality of Tirana regarding the construction of several sports structures being started below the artificial lake park. According to Lame, these actions of the municipality intend to destroy green areas and cover in cement the capital, while he added that the municipality has also given green light for 60 structures to be built in key areas of Tirana. What is now happening is the destruction of sport areas below the dam of the lake. The municipality gave permission for 5 buildings, and they say they will add greenery. 60 other permits were awarded in most sensitive areas of the country, and 70 studies were approved. Through August, new permits are being approved, said Lame. The city is drowning in concrete. There is no local government. There is no more thinking about the citizens, but only ways to fill the pockets of a few people, added the leader of the Agency of Legalization, Artan Lame. Speaking as a citizen, as a parent, and as a state functionary, Lame further said that he will do whatever he can in order to put an end to this situation. On its part, the municipality of Tirana reacted immediately after these statements. The municipality considered these statements as a way of lying to people and also accused the previous mayor of Tirana, Edi Rama. Edi Rama continues his campaign of lies and frauds against the municipality of Tirana. Edi Rama destroyed parks from the heart of the capital and cemented over 65,000 square meters of greenery, only in his last 4 years as a mayor. In the past 3 years, the municipality of Tirana has added over 95,000 square meters of green space and has planted over 23,000 trees and plants. No one trusts those who try to destroy Tirana, wrote the statement of the City Hall. Recently, the municipality and the majority have accused one another regarding the construction of several buildings near the artificial lake of Tirana. Traders who operated in the former factory of Dinamo have protested today in the early hours of this morning, requesting from the government not to close this space. At the same time, they expressed their concern, saying that the trucks with the products that they are selling are being blocked from the police. The protest escalated since some of the traders attempted to block the road and clashed with the police. The protesters expressed their concerns, since according to them, this is a problem which has followed them for over 2 years. This action has a purpose. They seek to steal our businesses. They want to give our businesses to others. Our products are being blocked. This is the situation that we continue to face, stated one of the protesters. During the protest, they requested from Prime Minister Edi Rama and Mayor Luzim Basha to retreat from their decision to close this market. They also said that they pay all obligations to the state and have asked to be allowed to exercise their activity, since to them this is the only way to support their families. At the end of the protest, they warned of a hunger strike if their problem is not solved. The Ministry of Energy has stopped all working activities in the mine of Fushlopa, which is administered by Alba Company, where a day earlier 2 miners lost their lives. The decision was made after the report of the inspection department. According to this report, the cause of the accident was the failure of following technical rules. Yesterday morning, 2 miners, Donald Barchi, 30 years old, father of a child, and Jamal Sela, 53 years old, father of 5 children, lost their lives while working in the Chrome Gallery. The severe event was recorded yesterday in one of the private galleries in Martanesh. Several hours after the tragedy, the police of Burel arrested the administrator of the mine and at the same time the technical manager of the mine, Shamsi Balabani. He is accused of violating the rules of technical safety at work. As Kosovo's post-election deadlock continues, the Constitutional Court this week will hear more arguments over which political bloc has the right to name the speaker. Kosovo's Constitutional Court is due to hold a hearing session on Thursday, where the 2 major political blocs will present additional arguments on which one has the right to nominate a candidate for the post of Speaker of the Assembly. The hearing is expected to pave the way for a court decision that could end with a political stalemate, which, while across, the Democratic Party of Kosovo complained about the elections of an opposition politician, Isa Mustafa, as the speaker. Riza Smaka, a constitutional law expert, said if the court failed to resolve the dispute, the country would have to hold new elections, only 3 months after the last ones. If the court decides that only the Democratic Party of Kosovo has the right to nominate a candidate, and if it does not get enough votes in the parliament, the country will go to new elections, he explained. On July 18th, 1 day after Mustafa was elected to the post, the Democratic Party of Kosovo filed a complaint to the court about the procedures. Prime Minister Hashim Thaçi holds 37 seats in the assembly and is the largest single party in parliament. Because of this, it insisted that it had the right to name the Speaker of the Assembly. The Democratic Party of Kosovo said that the opposition parliamentary group established after the elections by the Democratic League of Kosovo, the Alliance for the Future of Kosovo, and a third party, Incentive, was not a legitimate parliamentary bloc. We know they have created this parliamentary group, but that was not a legitimate thing to do, Javid Haliti from the Democratic Party of Kosovo said on the day when he sent the complaint to the court. Under the Constitution, the nominee for the role of the Speaker should come from the largest parliamentary group. However, the post-election coalition of the LDK, Incentive, and AAK groups, 47 deputies, 10 more than the Democratic Party of Kosovo, and duly nominated Mustafa for the post. Almost 3 months since the general elections, the election of the Speaker would enable the Assembly to proceed with electing a new government. Both the Democratic Party of Kosovo and the opposition nationalist self-determination movement have hinted about the possibility of calling new elections. Recently, the British ambassador to Kosovo, Ian Cleave, told that the new elections would not be in Kosovo's interest. Serbia's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ivica Dačić said on Wednesday there had been no actual agreement within the government's coalition to change the constitution, but that it had been discussed multiple times and that there was willingness to do it. There is willingness in principle to go for changes in the constitution, but they cannot be made every month, he told reporters, adding that the constitution of some serious countries do not change for years and decades on end. The idea is to analyze what needs to be changed, what Serbia's integration into the European Union requires, and what is obsolete and should be regulated differently, he noted. The representatives of the European Union expect candidates for membership not to take advantage of Russia's counter-sanctions by taking the place of European Union food exporters to the Russian market. This includes Serbia and in particular Turkey, as well as Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Switzerland, the Beta News agency is reporting. This was made clear last Friday by European Union foreign ministers. Although, speaking from a purely international legal point of view, candidate countries cannot be asked to prevent their companies and food exporters who would like to meet the growing demand of their Russian partners, the agency was told by sources at the European Commission in Brussels. Officials in the Commission wanted to emphasize that this was more a question of morality and solidarity with the European Union, noting that the European Union ministers said the goal of European sanctions against Russia was to urgently achieve a political, sustainable solution to the Ukrainian crisis. And, as they explained, to ensure the unity of the international community and to maintain international law, the European Union expects third countries and candidates to refrain from making use of the new trade opportunities that opened up with the introduction of these measures. After a series of Western sanctions aimed against it, Russia earlier this month decided to respond by banning for 1 year food imports from the European Union, the United States of America, and several other countries. Analysis offered by the media and European Union officials concluded that the somewhat unexpected Russian counter-sanctions will cause damages worth several hundred million to European Union producers, so calculations have also been made about when Russia could find replacements for the food it previously bought from the European Union. Thus, the Spanish newspaper El País recently ran a headline claiming that those countries' famous Serrano ham will now be replaced by Serbian meat products known for their quality, quoting a Russian food importer. The European Commission on Tuesday approved a compensation of 125 million euro in order to at least partially compensate producers of fruits and vegetables from the European Union, mostly Poles, Lithuanians, Bulgarians, and the Dutch. Measures to compensate producers of meat, meat products, and fish will follow, and the European Commission sources told Beta that it was also worrying that powerful fruit producers in Turkey, a candidate for the membership, are already making deals to significantly increase their sales in the Russian market. European Union countries last year exported food and other agricultural projects worth $11.8 billion to Russia, of which German goods amounted to 1.6 billion euro, while the Netherlands and Poland sold 1.2 billion euro each. The European Union also criticizes other countries, although in this case it is unable to demand solidarity from candidates or argue about moral reasons. And they include Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil, major exporters of meat and other agricultural products that will undoubtedly benefit greatly from the Russian countermeasures. Switzerland has made it clear it would not accept any offer from European Union producers to use its companies to bypass the Russian sanctions. But Swiss cheese and coffee producers in particular are convinced that they will not significantly increase their own exports to Russia. The European Union has a fund of €420 million for emergency aid for farmers who suffer sudden damages, which, according to reports, will certainly be used now. And that was the English news edition prepared for the day. Have a great evening. See you tomorrow. Good night.